Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Down Home Bites with Darlene. Well, it's Sunday morning, and this is where I belong, is in the kitchen on Sundays. So I am making a meal today for one of our neighbors who is disabled, and his wife. She's precious. She does everything in the world for him, but I know she gets tired and everything. So my husband and I decided the meal that we're making for ourselves, we're going to make one for them too. So the first thing we're going to do is an apple pie. Now this pie is a recipe that my mother had gotten from one of her friends, but when she and I looked at it, we did some tweaking of our own. As we did a lot of times with recipes, we would do different things to make it, ours. So, but I can say this is one of the best and one of the easiest apple pies that there is. So I'm going to switch the camera around and we're going to get started. So stay tuned. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make what is, I guess you can call the filling for the most part, but there's a reason why we're doing it now. So first thing you want to do is get a cup of sugar. And you're going to just put this in a separate bowl, or like I'm using a big measuring cup. So let's get a cup of sugar. I don't need the spoon that's in there. That probably wouldn't go over really well. Okay, cup of sugar. Now the next thing we want is a third of a cup of self-rising flour. And you want to use the self-rising. So this is a third of the cup. Just kind of scrape it on the side there so I'm even. Put that in there. Like I said, this is just an easy peasy thing, which I love, but it's so good at the same time. So it just makes it a winner. So now we want 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is a 1/2 teaspoon size. So that is, so there's 1/2. There's a teaspoon and a half. That was a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. Now you want a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I don't even think I've opened this one up yet. I haven't. So now you get to see my struggles of opening things up. Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna leave this off. Like I said, it's a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I've made it without the nutmeg, but it's just not the same. It's good, but not the same. Okay. And that is it for that part. So you want to just kind of mix that up. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the apples cut up. I'm going to do one to show you how thin that they have to be, and that's one of the secrets of this pie is the apples. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Kind of hoarse this morning. They're sliced really thin. So usually it calls for 5 or 6 large apples, but these are not really that large, so I will probably do 7 or 8. I just determine it by looking at it most of the time. So of course you want to peel it. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Woke up hoarse again this morning. I think it's allergies. It's usually by the end of the day I feel okay. My mother always said, you waste half of the apple when you peel stuff, or half the potato when you peel it. Well, I can't do it any other way. So we're gonna slice these apples very thin. I mean, like paper thin. And you just start cutting them So that flour mixture that you got, now you want to just sprinkle a little bit. Every time you do an apple, sprinkle just a little bit on top of it. So I'm not going to have you wait here and watch me peel the apples. So I'll get that done and then I'll come right back. Okay, so as you can see, we got all the apples sliced, and I put all that mixture of the flour and sugar and everything in there. And you just want to toss them around, make sure they get coated really well. Makes a world of difference. Now today I used, I think they're called Pink Lady apples. You can use any kind you want. The only thing I would recommend you not using would be the Gala apples. They tend to shrink really bad. And the Red Delicious are okay, but they're not a really sweet apple. So I always sometimes I use Granny Smith, and then use these Pink Ladies, or I think they're called Honey Crisp. All of those do really well. So I ended up, the size of my apples, I ended up using 8 of them. So we're gonna set this aside for a minute, and we'll get the pie plate ready. Okay, I've made my own crust before, but for this, I thought I'll take a shortcut anytime. So I just get the 9-inch pie crust that you find in the refrigerated section. And what you want to do though is, before you ever start all your process, lay these crust out so they'll start getting at room temperature. Let me grab my scissors. Also, you want to preheat your oven to 400. All right, let's get this thing out. I'm not the prettiest decorator, you can say, with pies, but I try. So this is a 9-inch pie plate. So you just gently unfold your pie crust. And then I try to just kind of eyeball it, make sure it's even on all sides, like this. And I go ahead and then kind of push the bottom crust out just a little bit, like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pour all our apples in there, the apple mixture. Oh, this is so good. I could just sit and eat one by myself. We're not going to have apple pie for us today. We're going to have the Lacy cookies that I made yesterday. They turned out really well. I thought this would be good to carry to our neighbor. So when you get your apples in there, just try to, kind of even them out some so they're not all in one glump. Maybe, I don't know if glump is a word, but it's my word today. Okay. And what you want to is you want your apples to stand up pretty high. So that looks like a good bit of it. So the next thing we do is take a half a stick of butter, unsalted, and we're just going to put pats of butter around in here. You don't have to just use like probably half a stick of butter on the inside portion. Okay, now it's time for the other pie crust. I love when I can find shortcuts that taste really good and kind of saves you some time. But there's nothing wrong, definitely, with making your own. Like I said, I have done it before. Okay, so you want to put that on top. Now, we want to kind of seal the edges around. So I'm going to take the end of that spoon and just kind of make indentations like that. It's just something to kind of connect it a little bit. Like I said, I'm not the prettiest pie decorator in the world. Now, one thing I have done before when I was going to take this somewhere is I go ahead and I buy me an extra box of the pie crust, and I use one of those and take cookie cutters and just make designs out of the pie crust with the cookie cutter, and then put them on the pie, and it makes it real pretty, especially at Christmas time. Okay, I think I got it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is the rest of that stick of butter, we're going to pat it on the top. So it doesn't, you know, this is just such a simple little recipe. And I thought for sure I had a bunch of pie plates. I mean, a bunch. And for some reason, they have disappeared. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go get me some more. I tell you, when you go to Goodwill, sometimes you can find things like pie plates and stuff like that for practically nothing. And definitely worth the trip, and you get to look at everything else. Okay, now, the next thing we're gonna do is you're going to take sugar, some more sugar. Tell you what, let me get a spoon here. This is an important part. It's going to make your crust flaky. So you want to put sugar all over it. This is a really low fat, low calorie dessert. It's got fruit in it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, here is the part that people go, what? So hold on just a moment. Okay, you take yourself an iron skillet, and it's going to have to be one that is big enough to set the pie plate and everything down in it. So what I typically do is spray it with cooking spray in case some of the juices come out. It'll be easier to clean this up. So you take your pie and you just sit down in there like that, and it goes in the oven. This iron skillet is going to make this crust flaky. So it's 400-degree oven, and usually it takes, I would start out on 30 minutes. Normally with my oven, it takes about 45 or so, but you just keep an eye on it, and when you see that it's brown on the top, you know, like an apple pie is supposed to look, and it smells really good, you know it's done. So after it gets done, I will come back and show you what it looks like. So stay tuned. Okay, the pie is done. It actually probably baked about an hour, but it is according to your oven, of course. So I would start out with the 30 minutes and then just up it from there. But it smells so good. Let's give it a look. Still hot. So, just a reminder of the ingredients. You need 2 pie crusts, the refrigerated pie crust that comes in a box at the grocery store, or you can make your own, just as long as you have 2 of them. If it's large apples, use 5 to 6 large. The size I used today was kind of a medium, so I ended up using 8 apples. You'll need a cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of self-rising flour, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then a stick of unsalted butter. And so that is the end of the pie thing. Now I wish I would have made one for us, but we're gonna eat the cookies I made yesterday, so I guess that'll be just as well. Or I could send the cookies down there and me keep the pie, but that's not very neighborly like, so I won't do that. Okay, well, thank you again for visiting me today. And I will probably this week be making several different videos. I've got several different recipes that I'm going to be using for our dinners and stuff like that. So I'll probably have quite a bit going this week, but I'm still working on a cookbook too. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend and a good day in the morning. It's Monday morning and we start all over again, but let's just be grateful for everything we have. So I'm signing off. Down Home Bites with Darlene. Have a good one.